Welcome down to the Sydney AFL Grand Final here at Henson Park. Toss of the coin, the Magpies' Paul Gambale and North Shore's Mark Livy. Gambale wins the toss, he'll kick to right of screen. Dan, this should be a blockbuster.
Can't wait. It's going to be a sensational match. Western Suburbs come in clear favourites. They've been the team to beat all year, only going down once, and that was to Pennant Hills. North Shore, side that have struggled early on, probably started a little bit later in their pre-season, but have come home firing, which is a great thing for the Bombers. They've been the team that's been there in the last 6 years. They've last year's grand finalists, so they've been plenty of experience across the ground. Western Suburbs, on the other hand, they're a team that's been pulled together this year. Sensational recruiting from the club, and they've got an absolute team of stars who can fire at any stage.
Well, both sides here courtesy of big wins over Pennant Hills. Western Suburbs into the second semi-final defeated Pennant Hills by 59 points, and in the preliminary final last week the game went down by 43 points to North Shore.
Might just quickly have a look at the ins and outs for North Shore. Nick Melrose has gone out with a knee injury after last week. Will Clark has come in. For Western Suburbs though, a big out in Fiddler. Fiddler had a calf injury on Tuesday at training. Thought he was going to be about 80%, but they didn't want to put him in there. Thought he would have spent a bit too much time on the bench. The other people that come out is O'Connell, Kasuma and Poulos. But the ins for them has well outweighed the lack of Fiddler. Fraser comes in, the best and fairest from last year. Nadir Kazan, who's their was fourth in this year's best and fairest for them. Nordorf comes in, young man who's played redbacks and has 2 grand finals behind him with them. And Dale Lodges, after his 1 week suspension, comes back into the side.
We're only seconds away from the start of this game. We'll be joined in the call by Damien Mahony. Welcome, Damien.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, guys. A grand final that doesn't matter where they've played. They're always hotly contested. And speaking of hot, it's pretty warm out there, 27 degrees. But it will certainly test the players, their fitness, particularly in the last quarter, if it's pretty close.
Well, it'll be interesting. Kev Ino likes to rest his players in the forward line, so he's probably not going to be able to do that today. He's going to want to bring them off, give them a good solid rest. Whereas North Shore, they'll rotate their superstars off the bench, namely Davies and Lord, and give them plenty of rest throughout these quarters.
So a good crowd in here at Henson Park. Umpire Graham Glassford will begin proceedings. It'll be Dale Lodges in the ruck for the Magpies and Zeno in the ruck for the Bombers. It's the Sydney AFL Grand Final 2005. Umpire just checking with both captains and we'll be well underway very shortly.
Good open forward line for the Bombers. There's plenty of room for their forwards to lead into. See how they use it.
So down it goes, start of the grand final. Free kick straight away, centre square infringement. Free kick will go to the Bombers, it'll go to Zeno. Crosby will be looking to run past quickly and does so. He bombs the Bombers straight inside 50. Huge leap it is. That's a great mark. Looks like Kieran Hughes. They've got some high flyers in their forward line, including Todd Badgick. This is a bit far out for Hughes. He chips it over to Crosby, who's run on well. And the former Phelan medalist from 1999 takes a mark just inside 50. Again, we'll test him. Short pass in towards Tom Hill. He's got 3 players onto him from Western Suburbs. They clear it out well, heading towards the boundary line. Jason McPherson, it stays in, back to Hill. High tackle, no, says the umpire. Stacks on the mill. Umpire will come in and ball up.
Interesting start there. North Shore getting the jump, getting that free kick. A little bit too quick into the square for Western Suburbs.
Appears as though we've got a blood rule already. So
looks like Tom Hill.
Yeah, he's holding the arm there a bit too. So Hill, an early exit, but I'm sure he'll be back and looks okay. Just a few running repairs. And look to see who'll come on for the Bombers. It looks like Barnes will be the man to come on to replace him.
So been in good form the last 2 weeks in the finals games as Barnes. He's come off the bench and provided a real spark for the Bombers, so this is a good move for them in one sense.
Yeah, he's been very good. Tom Hill, a very important player to him as well. Vice captain, previous winner of the best and last year's best and fairest winner, so I'm guessing they want to get him cleaned up and back out there ASAP.
So ready to go again. Opening exchanges in the Sydney AFL Grand Final, exclusive to Fox Footy Channel. Bombers inside there, attacking 50. 2 ruckmen go at it, no clear winner. Trying to push away there was Davies, wrapped up in a strong tackle. Trying to extract the handball out the Bombers, going without it there was Stevens. And the umpire's picked up a free kick and it'll go the way of Westies and trying to go the advantage. But the recipient there, Brewster, so trying to get something moving here. Western Suburbs playing on with the handball. Gambale runs into a bit of trouble. Kicks down towards the flank area. Well cut off there by Atwood. Chance here for the Bombers. We're hard up on the boundary line. Davies gets it out the back. Off towards Barretza. Long kick towards the hot spot. Oh, an opportunity for a mark there, but just not being able to take it was Hughes, and it threw for a rush behind. So the first score of the grand final, a minor one to the North Shore Bombers.
Well, you'll see two very good kick-out merchants here today. Danny Stevens will be taking the honours for Western Suburbs. You'll see Mark Livy at the other end for the Bombers. So Stevens goes in short. Oh, it's a nice kick to Hudson. They were lining up there, the Magpies. So Stephen Hudson, normally a tagger for the Magpies, just holds it up. Heads out to the wing now towards Withers, who's their centre half forward. Spoil comes well from the Bombers. Down towards Hill, who's back on the ground straight away with his arm taped up, the blood gone. Ball out of bounds. Umpire Luke McSperrin says, I'll throw it in. No. Free kick off the play there. It'll be a free kick to Matthew Tyrrell for the Bombers against Jason McPherson. So Tyrrell, one of the most experienced players for the Bombers. He looks sideways. Now goes long. One Bomber, three Magpies. And Bradfield, the former Swan reserves player, comes in and takes a strong mark.
Very strong mark. Running back into a bit of traffic always takes a bit of courage. That's what you need to see in grand finals. So Bradfield now with the ball at half-back. Long kick down the boundary. Big pack of players, no clear mark. At the back there, Crosby for the Bombers. Shrugs off a tackle, got the handball out wide. Clever tap there from Hodges. Westies away, handball over the top, but it's ill-directed. Straight down towards Davies again. Short kick inboard to Lord. Oh, strong tackle, but he got the ball out. And the Bombers go away. Clever kick over the top into space. The wing position coming out there with courage. Beautiful stuff there from Kassam. Bit of a scrimmage in the middle of the ground. Trying to extract the ball out there. Stapleton again has another crack at it, wrapped up in a strong tackle. Umpire finally blows his whistle and we'll have a ball up on centre wing.
Interesting that Crosby running free, Stevens running free. Two players we thought would probably match up, and they have, but neither playing in a tagging role.
So down it goes. Hodges gets a nice tap back towards McPherson. Wobbly kick off the boot. Matthew Parker overruns it. Chance now for Urell inside 50. Can it stay in? Umpire says no, as Egan charged onto the ball. They had the numbers there, did the Western Suburbs Magpies.
Also looks like Gambale running with Davies, Brewster and Lord matching up, and obviously Zeno and Hodges. The man that gets the big job on Withers is Wason.
So good knock down to Brewster. Brewster snap on goal. It's heading straight forward. Has it got the legs? It has! First goal to the Magpies, Marty Brewster.
Back in the centre. First goal to the Western Suburbs. It's the start they were after. The two ruckmen go at it. Hodges, good tap forward. Gambale out of the centre. Long kick inside 50. And umpire says no mark, so play on. Chain of handballs. Ends up with Parker. Kicks out wide, missing the target. Battles on. Atwood there for sure. Also Crosby. Plenty of touches in the opening minutes of the grand final. His kick, however, is cut off. And Western Suburbs are away.
So Danny Stevens gets a quick kick out to Marty Brewster, who just kicked that goal. He goes inside 50 or just outside 50 with a spearing pass and finds Dale Hodges. Hodges, you'll find today, will drift down forward as the ruckman. He's right on his kicking limit, I would have thought here. If you're looking to pass it off, he'll be kicking from 55 metres, will Dale Hodges. He wheels around on the left foot as left footers do. He bombs it long. It'll go right to the line. Attempted mark there by Wests. And it's been taken by Salem Kassam. The two grabs, the North Shore player thought it was going to go through for a behind, and Kassam just juggled a good mark.
Yes. Kassam is so incredibly hard to mark up on. He's a mature player. He's just every week he just does a sensational job.
Well, he's kicked 24 goals this season in 12 games. Goes the banana kick across the face of goal and fails to score.
Originally from Ainslie, spent last year and quite a few years before that with the Holroyd Parramatta side, the Goannas, and coached them to a final series last year as well.
So Colt with the free kick, good pass, finds Zeno. the flank, goes further down the field, but odges that man again. Cutting the ball off for Western Suburbs, kicks in board. Stevens again takes the mark, plays on quickly. Kick inside 50, the chase is on, heading towards the boundary line. The Bombers will get there first, but no, they didn't knock it out. So Western Suburbs with another opportunity here. Ural, shot on goal there from Lees, charged down at the last minute. Kassam couldn't quite handle it. Another opportunity here for Westies. Kassam, a second effort was a good one, but his kick just offline and another minor score. So Western Suburbs now move to 1-2-8 and North Shore just the one behind.
Interesting to see Leesy getting his hands on the ball early. Managed to free him up with the inclusion of Fraser. Allows him to come up and play as a dangerous forward. Probably hasn't had too many shots this year, so just getting a feel for it once again.
So Mark Livy kicks in. We're 5.5 minutes into the first quarter. Sydney AFL match of the... Oh, Hegan! Lees it is, actually takes a spectacular one-handed mark from the kick out. He goes inboard to find Stevens, who I think she's going to sit in the square all day. He lines up from 50, wobbly punt, kick, comes back inside. I think it's home. It wobbled off the boot, but it was good enough, and Danny Stevens puts the second one on the board for the Magpies.
Western Suburbs by 12 points. 3.5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Rucking contest. Western Suburbs go forward again. High kick towards half forward, and a strong mark taken there by Urell. Decides to kick into the corridor. Man out there loose is Brewster. The chase is on. Brewster and Atwood towards the boundary line. First man there, Brewster. Tried to shrug the tackle, couldn't do so. Excellent tackle there from Atwood, and is awarded with the free kick. A bit of push and shove off the footy. So a traditionally slow start for North Shore, with Western Suburbs kicking the first 2 goals of the game. Blustery conditions and quite warm, 27 degrees. Kick goes down towards the wing. Off hands now, Gambali. Clever tap through the legs. Ball towards the boundary line again. North Shore in possession. Davies there again, has had plenty of it. Carbone, handball back inside to Atwood. Missed a couple of oncoming tackles, then kicks one towards the half forward line. Opportunity here for Lord. Picks up the ball, kicks on goal, but is missing everything. And he will get a free kick down the ground. Umpire is pointing to the other umpire, and it's going to come back, so he's going to get another bite at the cherry. No, he's been Western Suburbs in possession, but it's Lord who will get the free kick, just to clarify that.
Yeah, there's a bit of ruckus going on in the background there.
So Adam Lord kicks in ball. He's been brought back by the umpire again. He's around 45 out. He's kicked 16 goals in 2005. Would love to add to that tally in the grand final. High kick, won't get the distance. Big pack of players. No mark taken. Scrimmage in the goal square. Comes out wide here. Gambali again. Good handball. And Western Suburbs are away.
So Kassam clears for the Western Suburbs Magpies, but only as far as Bereza on the wing. Picked up by Aid Kassam. Bereza, balks round 1, comes inside 50 with a wobbly kick. Mark Lord picks it up off his bootlaces. Was beautiful work by him, and there's the first one for the Bombers. Sensational play by Mark Lord.
It's taken 9 minutes, but North Shore are on the board. Their first major score, but they still trail by 6 points. Odgers up against Hughes. No clear winner, smashed out wide. Coming out to meet the ball there. Oh, big clash of bodies. Courage shown by both players, but it's Shaw who get the possession there through Crosby. And he was felled after he got rid of the ball, so he'll win the free kick. So featured rather prominently early in this game. Jared Crosby, plenty of grand finals experience. Runs in board, spots up a teammate in the centre of the ground. Bereza plays on quickly, good turn of speed. Kick out wide towards the flank. Davies was there, but the sprawl came from behind there from Harper. Knocks it towards the boundary line. Ball in contention there. Brewster picks up for Western Suburbs. Back inside to Harper. Scrubby kick down the wing. Not sure player overruns it there. Kassam. Handball inside, just knocking the ball forward. Western Suburbs coming through to cut it off there. It was Lord. Oh, big clash of bodies again. Opportunity here for Stevens. He's already kicked 1 goal. Kick around the body into the hot spot. No mark taken. Again, just knocking it towards goal. Lees can't control it. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
Going to be interesting to see the battle of the, or I suppose you'd call them, one close Phelan medalist and one that actually got it. Dean Davies winning the Phelan medal during the week with 22 votes, but Gambale finished on 24, but a week suspended earlier in the year, ineligible.
So Stapleton clears for the Bombers. Kick looking for the boundary line. It travels about 50 metres. He does well. And it'll be a throw in once more.
The other thing I'll probably question about North Shore, if they get, Western Suburbs get too much of a lead on, they're going to struggle to come back. They've had the 2 encounters this year. Was round 2, 62-point win to West, and round 11, 76-point win to West as well.
So one of the Arel boys there on pitcher. Kassam now gets it down towards Brewster. He's been well shepherded by Madir Kassam, but he just couldn't quite pick the ball up. And once more, the boundary umpire will restart play. We're 11 and a half minutes into this first quarter. Sydney AFL Grand Final, exclusive to the Fox Footy Channel. Ball comes in. Livy does the ruck work for the Bombers. Comes back towards Gambale for Western Suburbs, but his kick's chopped off by Bereza, who's been prominent in this first quarter.
So in the last line of defence, Bereza transfers play to the opposite pocket. Tyrrell takes the mark. Wants to play on quickly. Kicks in board, and Stapleton. Clean hands there by the error forced, however. But luckily, Tyrrell's there again to clean up. Handballs over the top to Bereza. A long kick up towards the wing. That's what they require. Opportunity here for Kerr to come over the top. Couldn't take the mark. Loose ball. Towed forward there by Carbone. Towards the boundary line. He goes and cleans up his own kick. Beautiful handball over the top, finds Lord. Bouncing along the boundary line. Shrugs the tackle beautifully. Kicks in towards the goal square. Mark not taken. Off the ground there. Opportunity for Barnes. Can he clean up his mistake? Gee, golden opportunity there, squandered for sure.
Barnes just coming onto the ground for Adam Lord. I think he got that foot in there when he would have been better off leaving it to Badgick. He would have been able to come through, possibly come around back onto his right foot and bang one through.
It was sensational play by Mark Lord. He just spotted him out of the corner of his eye. So Western Suburbs clear out of defence. Precise pass. Now Danny Stevens, he's been in everything. That's a beautiful kick towards Withers. Withers has been in fine form the last few weeks. He just toe pokes it up high. Stapleton, or Meldrum gets the punch. Parker plays for the free kick. There's Stapleton. Kick off the ground by Urell. That is a fantastic piece of work by Matthew Urell. He pops it through. There's Western Suburbs third, and they go clear by 11 points.
The 13 and a half minutes gone in the first quarter of the 2005 Grand Final. Western Suburbs by 11. Restart of play. Davies there, the Phelan medalist, knocks it onto the advantage of Lord. He's been electric in the first quarter. Kicks out wide. Chance there for Barnes again. Kick comes in board. Oh, good strong mark taken by Hughes. Thought about playing on, but he drifted beautifully in front of the pack and took a strong mark. They need to get one back here, North Shore.
They really need to make the most of every opportunity they get in front of goal the Bombers.
16 goals for the year for Kieran Hughes. A very gettable shot. Nice left foot kick. And he puts it through for North Shore's second goal. They move to 2-2-14, trailing Western Suburbs 3-1-19.
So great piece of play there by Kieran Hughes, young player who came through the juniors of North Shore, part-time DJ, so he'll be playing the tunes tonight if they get up. Beautiful knockdown by Odgers, comes down to Brewster, he's tackled high, gets it over to Blenko, Blenko inside 50, that's a beautiful pass to Withers. Wason, he was just too quick for him, falls down towards Egan, snap on goal, Kassam dives, wobbles through for a behind.
Tell you one thing you'll see in that forward line for Western Suburbs is they're really going to pick out Kassam. He's playing on Meldrum. He's giving a lot of weight away and strength to Kassam, so it's going to be interesting to see who can come out on top in that contest.
So Livy with the restart for the Bombers. Kicks out long to the far side. No mark taken off the pack. Clever roving there by Western Suburbs. Send it back in towards forward 50. Big fist came out wide. Stapleton collects the crumbs and just heads for the boundary line. Bouncing footy. Coming to pick it up is McPherson for Western Suburbs. Has a bit of time. Measures a pass inside 50. Over the back of the pack. And again, North Shore will clear it through Livy. Long kick down the wing. Flying high there was Kerr. Couldn't take the mark. Again, beautiful play there. And coming through was Carbone. Collected the crumbs. Kicks towards half forward. No mark taken there by Stevens. And Western Suburbs will clear it through Blencoe.
So Blencoe back to Hudson. Hudson now goes towards the wing. It's all Magpies, but will the boundary line beat them? Oh, it pitches beautifully for Cassim and McPherson. Cassim chip kick over the top, looking for Gambale, and he finds him. He can play on straight away. He spears a kick into 50, looking for Brewster. Brewster gets some good hands. He weaves around 1 and 2. Has a snap on goal as Marty Brewster. It's hitting home. Just touched on the line by Ryan Meldrum. Through for a rush behind.
Another great passage of play there from the Western Suburbs boys. They were under pressure inside 50, managed to work it along the boundary line, give themselves an opportunity. They're an opportunist team. Normally they'll make the most of those type of things that'll come up in front of them and they'll capitalise and they just bury you.
So Livy with the restart for the Bombers. It's a good pass, finds Parker, steps around his opponent, kicks down towards the wing, and Crosby again takes the mark, kicks inboard, and backing back with the fight of the ball. Baretza takes the mark in the midfield. Just piecing it together here, Shaw. Long kick in towards the forward pocket over the head of all their forwards, and a good mark taken in defence by Fraser for Western Suburbs.
So Fraser takes off, kicks it outside 50, looking for Gambale. Lord's there, he spoils, comes down to Carbone. That was good roving by him. Kick in towards Barnes. Can he have strong hands this time? Good spoil away though by the Western Suburbs players. Comes down to McPherson, back to Gambale. He's got Stevens on, he ignores him. Goes in short instead to Brewster. Brewster to Stevens. They've both gang tackled. Brewster kicks it off the ground, over Withers' head, falls to Egan. He gets the handball over to Cassim. Snap on goals, a poor one. Disappointing finish there for Western Suburbs as they just move the ball forward in numbers. Another behind takes them to 3 goals, 4-22. And the North Shore Bombers 2-2-14, 8 points the difference here at Henson Park.
Lee Chasm, a former rugby league player, obviously the 3 brothers running around today. Sensational tackle, but obviously still a bit of rugby league in him after a kick like that.
So dangerous kick in from Livy. Again, an opportunity here for Western Suburbs, but it will be cleared away. The kick out wide from Parker will find the boundary line. And may rethink that sort of kick in, Livy.
Well, he was looking for Lord, and it was well spoiled. Parker has really stepped up in the finals. He's their most experienced player. So ball comes back in. It'll be Urell for the Magpies who gets a good knockdown, but only as far as Crosby. He just fumbles the ball. Didn't take what he should have. Gambale has a snap on goal from an impossible angle. Good mark there by Meldrum. Looks to play on straight away and does so. Gets it over towards Wason. Wason outside of 50. Wobbly kick. Race on here. Denev charges onto it for Western Suburbs. Has a left foot snap at goal. The inverse reverse torp, the hardest kick in the game. Only finds Mark Livy.
Former soccer player in the NSL, you could see that then.
Gee, I don't know why I go for that option. The kick out wide. Finds the boundary line and just being seen over there by Stapleton. So thrown in out of side. And the wind playing a bit of havoc with the skills of the respective sides. Western Suburbs mastering them at the moment. They lead by 8 points from the throw in. Goes to the front of the pack. Ball in contention. Coming away there. Atwood with the handball. To Lord. Lord brought down on a strong tackle and Western Suburbs come away again. Good handball inboard there from McPherson. Towards Gambale. Kicks inside 50. Big pack of players. No mark taken. Opportunity there for Western Suburbs. Gambale kick around the body. Has missed everything, and it will be a free kick to North Shore. So again, we just see the wind just taking it wide.
Absolutely. Gambale getting in the thick of things at the moment, get plenty of possessions, regularly gets over 30 a match, but is also a very good mark for his size.
Well, he captained the state side this year to 2 victories. Short kick in from Bereza. He finds Parker, the stockbroker from North Shore. He clears outside 50 and finds Meldrum. Meldrum's got Atwood on and that's the direction he goes. Spearing pass finds him. Couldn't take off. He's a speedster as Atwood. He now takes Harper on. Goes inside and finds Stapleton. Stapleton's got no one to go to, so he comes inside to Parker, who's run on. He can have a bounce if he wants. Instead goes long towards Badgick. Unfortunately, the boundary line beats him to it. Todd Badgick is an excitement machine. Can take a huge grab. Only played 4 or 5 games this year due to injury, Dan.
Yeah. Is that Parker's first touch so far? He's been a little bit quiet. They really need him to lift up and get involved in this game. one of their old stalwarts, and could also be his last game of the year, possibly. Sorry, last game of his career.
21 minutes gone in the first quarter. Western Suburbs by 8 points. Slapped it forward, but cut off by Madir Kassem. His kick, not a particularly good one. Barnes sends it back in. His kick was charged down. Atwood, handball close to the boundary line to Crosby. Handball's back inside now. Good strong tackle there on Clark. Loses the footy. Good tackling here from both sides, forcing a lot of errors. Western Suburbs clear it from defence via Denev, and they're through the centre, and Stevens to take the ball. Kicks up toward Withers, strong on the lead. 55 from goal. Will send it long. Does so now. Goes long towards a hot spot in the goal square. Was Cole, but good defensive play from the Bombers. Knock it through for a rush behind. Western Suburbs now move to 3-5-23. North Shore a 2-2-14. We've gone 22 minutes in the first quarter.
Western Suburbs have been a little while since they've had their last premiership. 96 was the last time they got over the line.
So beautiful kick out again by Livy, finds Parker. Hasn't got much to go to. He's got Meldrum on his inside. That's probably his only option. Continues to ignore him. Looks long. Hughes not really giving him much. Goes boundary line. Looking for Stapleton, who takes a strong mark there. That was good work by him. Can the Bombers build something late in this quarter? Stapleton goes short towards Barnes. Good play by Kerr just to shepherd his opponent off the ball and let Barnes a free pass to the ball. They're building slowly, are the Bombers. Barnes, inside 50. Good spoil there by Hudson. Can't quite pick it up. Boundary line beats him. Over it goes. Right on the 50-metre arc.
Both backlines doing well to start this game off. Both trying their best, can't really get an opportunity. Kevin Ino there on the screen, coach or co-coach of the Western Suburbs Magpies with Jason McPherson.
They lead by 9 points from the throw-in. Well done to Crosby. Got it out wide to Hill. Boundary line almost beat him, but he got the handball in, but umpire signalling it was out of bounds. Very warm conditions here for the grand final, 27 degrees. So the umpires, Lewis, Glassford and Elliott. A throw-in forward pocket for the Bombers. Would like to pinch one before quarter time. Yarrell took the front position. Got a second by the cherry, slapped it forward. Taken there by Parker, was grabbed high. And a free kick going to Matthew Parker.
He has got some of the best skills in this competition. We'll see what he does here.
So Parker, 55 from goal. Bit beyond his distance. The Bombers streaming into the forward line. Plenty of options there. And there it is. The quarter time siren beats him, so he may as well have a ping now. Umpire called play on, and he has not even had the opportunity to have a shot on goal. Just took too long. And, well, I think that was the correct decision.
Well, yeah, he's obviously...
It's odd. The umpire called play on. He had his kick anyway.
The umpire said he'd been waiting too long to take his kick. So there it is, quarter time in the Sydney AFL Grand Final. Western Suburbs, 3 goals, 5-23. They've got a little break there on the North Shore Bombers, 2-2-14. They're out by 9 points. Good start to the Grand Final, and we look forward to the second quarter shortly. So start of the second quarter, Sydney AFL Grand Final in 2005. Umpire Anton Lewis holds the ball up high. Western Suburbs by 9 points. Tight struggle in the first quarter. Stapleton knocks it down. Zeno fights for it. Dean Davies is tackled hard, and it's on there in the middle of the ground. Both sides going in. North Shore players unhappy with the way Dean Davies was treated. Umpire Lewis quickly grabs the ball. He'll throw it up and just continue play. Down it goes, Odgers and Zeno, the two ruckmen. Comes down to Carbone. Free kick against Zeno for a push in the back. Odgers will take the free kick in the middle of the ground. The big left footer gets the handball off to Stevens, who's been prominent early. High kick inside 50, looking for Cole. Good spoil by Meldrum. Comes down to Parker. Parker over the top to Tyrrell. Tyrrell goes long over Bereza's head, looking for Wason. Now it's Kerr. Kick off the ground by Bereza. Can Kerr do the same and keep it in play? Bradfield's on him for the Western Suburbs Magpies. Goes. Good smother there by Bereza on Hudson. Ball out of bounds.
interesting bit of play, both feeling each other out. Big Dale Lodge's getting involved there. He's coming back after a week's suspension. It will be his last game today, no matter the result. This will be his finale.
Throw in at half forward for the Bombers. No clear winner, but a chain of handballs. Ends up in the arms of Gambali. Handballs wildly over the top. He didn't have too many other options. Gained around 15 metres and will have a throw-in directly in front of the interchange bench. Opening minutes of the second term. 3 goals to Western Suburbs in the first quarter, to North Shore's 2. Over the back of the ruck. Hodges is there, trying to barge his way through. Gave it straight up to Tyrrell. Scrubs a kick forward. Stevens is there for the Magpies. Loses his opponent. Handball inside. Little dangerously. Turnover now. Long kick forward there for North Shore by Baretza. Into space. Chance here for Atwood. Grubber through. Oh, hit the post. Courageous effort. Just the minor score.
Charged onto the ball, didn't he? Good stuff for a grand final.
I think the North Shore are just going to have to watch out for is they've just got to watch there not too many bees to the honey pot. Western Suburbs do a great job. They have confidence in their players. They know that they'll let 1 or 2 or 3 go in there, get the ball, have about 3 or 4 hanging off around the pack, and they do it well.
So Gambali in short to Hudson. They work that move quite well. They open up space in the middle of the ground. Hudson now comes out wide to Ayed Kassim. Brewster will come over the top also. He's knocked out of the play cleverly by Livy. Comes to ground. Kassim, can he get it over to Brewster? He gets it to McPherson. McPherson over the top to Stevens. McPherson has been crunched by Carbone behind play. Anton Lewis was right there on the spot. Jason McPherson's had plenty of head-high tackles in his career. He missed a few games earlier this year. With that, he gets up. He has a chat to the umpire. He's very experienced. Works for the New South Wales AFL up here in Sydney. He's up on his feet.
So 3 concussions this year.
So, looks okay, McPherson. Kick over the top's not a good one. Cut off there by Davies, the Phelan medalist. Breaks through the would-be tackle. Steadies, kicks towards half forward. Good defensive play there by Kassim. Opportunity there for number 55, Kerb. Keeps it in. Western Suburbs, however, take possession. Now they lose it. Chance here for the Bombers. Barnes gives it off now to Crosby. Back to Hill. Strong tackle on him. They lose possession. Just keeping the ball in there, Western Suburbs. Working with inches. And the big, don't argue there. He's given away the free kick. Straight into the face of Davies. Well, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but just slipped up. And again, Barley, the infringer on that occasion.
Well, Dean Davies, he's only about 40 metres out here. He has got fantastic skills.
So Davies, a couple of touches in the opening of this second term. From the boundary line, they hit the post. Good effort. Just again, the minor score for North Shore. They moved to 2-4-16. Western Suburbs 3-5-23. We've just ticked over 4.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Not a bad effort there from Davies, right on the boundary line. Hitting the post pretty high up, so there's definitely no problem with distance there.
So North Shore kicking 2 behinds this quarter to no score from the Western Suburbs. They're in their 6th consecutive grand final at North Shore. They won it last year and won it in 2001. All 5 previous grand finals have been decided by 34 points or less. It's McPherson now, kicks into the centre of the ground and finds Brewster. That was a perfect pinpoint kick. Brewster just holds up play. He comes back inside to Gambali. Gambali looks out wide towards Freeney, but the kick comes short through Matthew Parker's legs. Meldrum charges onto it. Egan there. Now Meldrum against Freeney. Freeney just goes over the back of him. Unlucky not to give away the free kick. Comes back towards Lees. Chris Lees inside. Meldrum cuts it off. Back to Cole. Good smother by Meldrum. Geez, he worked hard there. Fantastic work.
That was great work from Meldrum. He tried his backside off there to help his team. He got back, covered up. 1%ers. He's a sensational player and he's really starting to lift for their backline at the moment.
So first scoring opportunity of the quarter for the Magpies. Throw in their forward pocket. Withers pushed out his opponent. Got the handball out the back to Cole. In 2 minds. Handball's inside, gives up possession. Bit of a scrimmage here in the forward pocket, but again Stevens collects the ball. His kick is off target. Bounces out of bounds. We'll have another throw in the forward pocket. 23 plays 16. And Western Suburbs leading.
Shot there of the Western Suburbs interchange. Bit of work being applied there.
So we're 6.5 minutes into the second quarter. Sydney AFL Grand Final 2005. It's Western Suburbs by 7 points. Odgers knocked down, goes to Ayed Kassim, snap over his shoulder. Colk will get the punch down, does well against Chris Lees, knocks it through. He's been a fantastic defender for North Shore over the last couple of years, has Daniel Colk.
But Livy with the kick in, goes long on this occasion. An excellent kick, all of around 60 metres. Big pack flew, no mark taken. Western Suburbs come away with it again. Hudson got the handball out. They lose possession. Good play there from Barnes. Kick around the body. It's all Western Suburbs. It's there for Kassim, Mahony Kassim. And cleverly knocks the ball over the boundary line. Going safety first. Throw in. On centre wing.
Still very messy out there at the moment. They're still sort of feeling each other out. Nobody wants to give too much to the opposition side and let them run away with it.
So Odgers only as far as Kerr. He cops a high one from his own player in Zeno. Hill went to go on the right, goes back onto the left. Lord was clever. And unfortunately for the Western Suburbs, who was Mahony Kassim, he butted up well. Tried to get it to McPherson, but only kicked it out of bounds on the full, and Tyrrell takes a free kick. Dean Davies runs hard. He gets that one. He'll bomb the North Shore team inside 50. Well, he was knocked late by Nordhoff, who'd just come onto the ground. And the umpire said it was too late after he'd kicked the footy. And it was a free kick downfield. It'll go to Kieran Hughes. No, Mark Lord is going to take it. No, it is raffling it off down there in the goal square. So Mark Lord, he's only 12 or 13 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Perfect angle here for the cameras for us to watch it from. This will bring the game back within 2 points if he can slot it through. Kicks on its way. It's straight as an arrow over the goal umpire's hat. That is Mark Lord's second goal of the match. And we've got a tight one.
So North Shore getting their third goal, courtesy of a free kick downfield. They trail by just the 2 points now. Tap forward from Odgers. Collecting the ball there for sure was Parker. Kick around the body into space. Chance here for Atwood. Will run down the footy. Collects now at half forward. Steadies. Measures a pass in. Board. Taken there by Hill. Kick around the body. Gee, it would have been a beautiful goal if he could pull it off, but it is just the minor score. So all the scores, they're not tied up. It's in fact just the point the difference now. Western Suburbs still leading, but North Shore just getting another behind. They're 3-5-23. Western Suburbs 3-6-24.
Thought Tommy Hill might have learned from last week. He missed a few early on, came back and buried a couple late, but should have just taken that, gone back. All he did was worsen the angle.
Well, he's kicked 1 goal 5 in the first semi-final, and he kicked 3 goals 4 last week, and now 1 point today. So he hasn't had his kicking boots on in this final series. Western Suburbs Magpies just worked the ball well to centre wing. Odgers attempts to take the mark. Kerr, the young centre half forward for the Bombers, knocks it over, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
They've really got to take the most of their opportunities. They haven't got Danny Roberts, their #1 goal kicker this year, with 19. So that leaves us with 7 players that have kicked double figures this year.
Stevens, quick kick out of the boundary throw in. Straight back from whence it came.
On the other hand, Western Suburbs have got 13 players in double figures, and 6 of those have kicked greater than 20 goals. So they can kick them from all over the park, plenty of options.
So Odgers just comes off for a rest. Urell in the ruck now for the Magpies. Hudson over the top to Nordhoff. He's been charged down by Carbone. Good tackle. Atwood helps out. Gambale over to Brewster. He breaks 4 tackles. Gets it wide back to Gambale. He's got plenty of time now. Which way is he going to go? Comes inside looking for Withers and Stevens. Mark Livy gets back. Kassim, it is. Kicks it off the ground. Cole just goes to his feet when he shouldn't have. Livy now clears for the Bombers. Aided by a good shepherd by Crosby. Dean Davies just walks around Harper. Crosby dives in there. He's knocked by his own player. Umpires picked out a free kick. It was to Davies. He was held on for too long by Harper. He'll take the free kick on centre wing.
So Davies has had a good second quarter. Not quite in the first. Certainly coming into the game now. Long kick inside 50. Good spoil there from Western Suburbs, but a chance into an open goal there for Carbone. but not able to kick it through straight. So another minor score, and scores are level in the 2005 Grand Final at 3-6-24 apiece, and we've gone 11 and a half minutes in the second quarter.
Stallone there you saw with an opportunity. Normally plays in the back line, getting his chance up forward today. Just couldn't quite get that ball to bend back around enough for him.
So Gambale now with the kick-in duties for the Magpies. He looks to go long and safe over towards Urell. Bradfield will come into the front, takes a strong mark. So can they build something here, the Magpies? Bradfield inside towards Stevens. He really hasn't left the centre square today. He's played very well. Kicks over towards Freeney, the reserves coach and very experienced senior player. Freeney, he can go inside towards Urell. Over his head, finds Brewster.
They've got Egan all alone.
So Brewster back to Stevens. Over towards Withers. And in front it is Lees. Umpire has paid a kick, a free kick for an illegal shepherd on Jared Crosby behind the play. And he'll take a kick on the halfback flank just when the Magpies were building something.
A disappointment there. The kick taken by Crosby is long. And running with the flight of the ball is Levy. Took a strong mark out of defence. Now he runs around the mark. Kicks inside 50, going back with the flight of the ball there was Hughes. Couldn't quite take it. Western Suburbs clear from the fence. In towards the centre of the ground. Davies there for the Bombers. Back to Crosby. Kicks out wide. And an easy mark taken there by Tyrrell. In fact, it's Lord. Mark Lord. 2 goals to his name. Kicks inside 50. No mark taken there. Again, an opportunity there for Hughes. Kick around the body is high and long, but doesn't straighten up. And another minor score to North Shore. They've been peppering the goals in the second quarter. They've kicked just the one major. They moved to 3-7-25. A 1 point lead over Western Suburbs, 3-6-24.
I suppose it's one of those things where you really got to pay tribute to both backlines. They're the two strongest backlines in the comp for the home and away season. Only 16 odd points between them scored against, so they both do a great job, and they're making sure at the moment that any opportunities are being made from long out.
So Danny Stevens brings it back in. He finds Hudson. That's a good mark by him. But he had a good season, has Stephen Hudson. Comes long looking for Urell. He juggles a mark and takes it. Can handball onto McPherson. He does so. McPherson can almost run inside 50. Spearing pass was a poor one and finds Bereza. He was looking for Cole on the lead, just didn't quite have the distance. So Bereza, wobbly kick outside 50, only finds Ayed Kassem. It's kick to kick at the moment. Ayed Kassem looks to go long. Goes towards Withers. Bereza punches over the top, comes down to Colk. Now Wason, now Stapleton clears, looking for Tyrrell. Tyrrell, he looked up when he hadn't taken it. Kassem tries to break a tackle, over to Egan. He runs around 2, back towards Cole, into an open goal. I think he's missed it. He has. So scores.
As he's on now near in the forward pocket, Kassem. A bit of a wrestle there with his opponent, Levy.
A bit of rugby league in the boys, still floating around. Likes to get in there, won't take any intimidation, Kassem.
So the kick in from Colk, the short one. And spots up Parker in the back pocket. He decides to kick long and out wide to the advantage of Bereza. Takes the mark, plays on quickly to Crosby. Runs into a bit of trouble, but spun out of it beautifully. And again, looks inboard, touches it on the ground. Long kick down towards half forward. Man in front, not paid the mark. Western Suburbs come away. Bradfield, short kick into the centre is a good one and finds McPherson. It'll give off now to Gambale. He's been everything. Kicks out wide to Withers. Long way up from centre half forward, taking that on centre wing. Looking inboard. And spots up Gambale again. He's had leather poisoning this afternoon, plenty of the pill. Kicks towards half forward, looking for Brewster over his head. Cleaning up there was Tyrrell. Off to Davies for the Bombers. Short pass, not the required distance, but swinging around onto the right there is Parker. Pretty average kick out wide, and we cut off there by Kassem. Slips, so he went to give the handball, and they'll see it over for a boundary throw in. So all locked up at 25 apiece, 3-7 to both sides, and we've gone 16 minutes in the second quarter. The 2005 Sydney AFL Grand Final.
So ball back in from the boundary umpire. Livy in the ruck against Urell. Both of them miss it. Huge knock over the top there by Davies. Finds Crosby. Crosby inside looking for Hughes. He's a left footer, but Kassem, he butters up well, does Medea Kassem. Kicks it over the top looking for Danny Stevens. He had a look to see if anyone was behind him. Matt Parker was about 20 metres behind him. He balks around him, sells him a beautiful dummy, kicks inside 50. Long lead here by Lees, and he finds him. He's got 2-on-1 in the square. Goes in that direction, but it's a high kick. Cole's going to come in from the side. Can he take it? He juggles it. He falls to the ground. Comes to Parker, trying to butter up. Gets the kick out wide, looking for Colk. All arms and legs is he. Picked up by Harper. Harper snaps it over his shoulder to the hot spot, looking for Cole, but found Wason instead, taking a really strong mark over the top.
They've got some great marks floating around in their back line, the North Shore Bombers, and they keep cutting them off at the moment.
Crucial mark. So Wason, that's an excellent kick out wide. Got plenty of distance. Chase on here, opportunity for Crosby for the Bombers, but cleverly tapped on there by Gambale. He puts his teammate under pressure, however. Denev trying to knock it towards the boundary line. It's a second bite of the cherry that'll give now to Gambale in the back pocket. There's no support there for the Western Suburbs Magpies. Finally spots out a teammate again. Denev kicks long down the wing, and the good mark taken by Brewster on the wing.
So Brewster can come inside to McPherson in the centre of the ground. He takes it inside the larger circle. Comes out wide looking for Matthew Urell just inside 50 on the half-forward flank and finds him. Quick snap over his shoulder. He does well. And he finds Mark Egan about 30 metres out from goal on a tight angle.
Does a great job, Egan, creating space in the forward line. They don't expect him to come in there. When he does, always on his own. 17 goals so far this year for him. See if he can add another one onto the board.
Well, he kicked 3 goals in the second semi-final to get them here. Kicks on its way off the side of the boot, just scrapes through for a point, does it? No. Goal umpire and boundary umpire confer, and it is out of bounds on the full free kick to Daniel Culp.
I swore that was a point from here.
We were right behind it.
Suppose, could have just gone over the top of the post, which would make it out of bounds on the full, so
you can't.
Give him a rap sometimes.
It was a tough one to call, so Loretza now given the free kick. Oh, the kick charge down. Urell, an opportunity. Oh, it bounces just over his head. Still not out of danger yet. North Shore, a high tackle. Umpire hasn't picked it up. Tyrrell, the clearing kick. Long down towards the wing. Getting under it there, however, is Stevens. Had plenty of the footy for Western Suburbs. Kicks inboard to Gambale. These two have been waxing. Kicks towards centre half forward, but Davies cuts it off for the Bombers. Quick thinking. Kicks out wide. Looking for Crosby. Lost his opponent. Gets a second opportunity. Is he legged? Umpire says, well, he wasn't legged, but he was held without the footy, so he'll get the free kick. 45 metres out on a slight angle.
Well, Jared Crosby, one of the fittest players in the competition. He has done a half Ironman triathlon before at the start of this season.
Former Phelan medalist as well, Billy.
He was when he played for Borkham Hills, who are now the East Coast Eagles. He switched over in 2001.
So Crosby can make the Magpies pay for that turnover. It was good thinking from Davies. Got it quickly inside 50 as Crosby moves in. And he split the centre. It's been a big quarter for North Shore. They've kicked their second goal. They moved to 4-7-31. Western Suburbs 3-7-25.
Western Suburbs coaching staff madly working on the board, trying to find some answers. They've only kicked 2 behinds this quarter. North Shore have been dominant. Umpire Glassford said it was a throw. Free kick coming back to Carbone, so North Shore will go back into attack once more. Comes over to Livy. He's going to be caught from behind by Urell. He gets it back to Kieran Hughes. Now back to Parker. Bit of experience there. Now back to Livy. Livy snaps it over his shoulder. High ball inside 50. It'll be Tyrrell versus the other Urell. Tyrrell does well, gets it to the front. Parker butted up well. He must have charged 40 metres from that high kick. He's all over it. He made no attempt. Comes out now to Hill. Hill gets it over to Atwood. Atwood just tries to get it across to Clark, and it was cut off. Comes out to Danny Stevens for the Magpies.
Picks up the loose footy. Good tackle there from the North Shore Bombers in the form of Barnes. They go forward again. Long kick from Tyrrell into the forward pocket, but the umpire said it was out. So 7 scoring shots to 2 in this quarter to North Shore. They really have dominated. And turn this grand final around.
They're flooding back into that back line, which is why the Western Suburbs can get some free men through the centre when they're transferring it from into their attack. So it's working for them. It's working on the scoreboard, so you can't argue.
So Odgers gets it down towards Hudson. He's well tackled by Hughes. Odgers again. Out to Brewster. Out to Egan now. He can take a bounce. He's being charged down by Atwood, the quickest man on the ground. Comes towards Cole. Livy at the back. He can get it across to Stapleton. He ignores him. Snaps it over the shoulder towards Tyrrell. It's a floating kick. It'll pitch just inside. Take a right-hand turn and head into the Western Suburbs interchange players to be thrown back in.
North Shore backline holding up extremely well. Dean Davies coming off for a rest.
So it's the Bombers by 6 points. They trailed by 9 at quarter time. And the throw in. Big knock forward there from Parker. Hill. Scrubby kick forward. Cut off there by Egan. Put his teammate under pressure with the handball. Bit of a scrimmage in the centre of the ground. Crucial possession close to half time. Umpires picked out a free, going the way of the Magpies.
Crowd happy with that one.
So the kick goes forward from Plenko towards half forward. Spoiler over the top there from Meldrum. Knocks it inboard. Tyrrell tries to pick up the loose ball. Handballs backwards. Bit of a job to do there for his teammate in Livy. Tried to knock it over the boundary line, but Withers swoops upon it. Running in towards goal, has a ping. But off target and cut off in the last line of defence there by Colt.
So Colt gets it over the top towards Stapleton and running with the flight of the ball. He can go it over to Bereza. Bereza can come inside to Parker if he wants him. Instead goes long, looking for a small man in Williams. Williams gets the spoil on. Comes down towards Freeney. Now to Bradfield. Bradfield back to Harper, and the Magpies are away. On the rebound, he's got Gambale inside. That's the direction he goes. A wobbly kick comes to him now. Snap over his shoulder. Inside 50. High ball. Across the front is Bereza, who's normally a strong mark, but it's been pickpocketed from the back, has it? No, it hasn't. Bereza. Chris Lees made a very good effort, but Bereza was awarded the free kick. Over the top of Atwood's head. Luckily, Carbone was onto that. He switches it wide towards Tyrrell. Tyrrell has got Ben Williams all on his own. He goes shorter to Meldrum instead. All they need to do is get going here. They've got loose men in the forward line. That's the way it goes. Over towards Williams now. Takes a strong mark. He can play on and have a shot on goal. There it is. Shot on goal indeed. It is straight over the umpire's hat, and Ben Williams has scored North Shore's fifth. They're out by 12 points.
So at the 25-minute mark of the second quarter, it's the Bombers by 2 goals. They've had a big second quarter using the wind well. Back in the centre of the ground. Ball slapped forward, but it comes back quickly. Trying to bust his way through there was Wason.
Just not as clean as they normally would be, Western Suburbs. You can see Stapleton there's coming off for a rest. Western Suburbs, Bombers are doing a great job. They're just not letting them get any clear run of play. They're bottling it up in that forward line, and their back line's doing a sensational job to trap the footy and move it back out.
Umpire bangs it into the turf again. Western Suburbs, they just like to nab a goal back before half-time. They go forward, the kick out wide, bouncing towards the boundary line. Cut off there by Parker. Tried to keep it in, bundled over the boundary line. Good strong tackle coming there from Harper. And there it is, half-time in the big one. That's Sydney AFL 2005 Grand Final. It's North Shore 5-7-37. Lead Western Suburbs 3-7-25.
So beginning of the third quarter, Sydney AFL 2005 Grand Final. North Shore are out by 2 goals after kicking 3-5 that quarter to just 2 behinds for Western Suburbs. Bounce a little sideways, falls down towards Hudson. He gets Western Suburbs inside 50. Good quick handball across to Odgers. Odgers bounces the wrong way. Now Brewster charges through. Snap on goal, smothered. Which way is it going to go? Will Wason be able to knock it through? He is through for 1 behind. And we're only 30 seconds in to this third quarter.
I think Western Suburbs need to get a couple of early goals here. They're a great team when they're in front. They haven't really been pressured much this year. So the question's going to be, can they come from behind? Will they panic? And possibly let North Shore run away with this one. They're a great team, Western Suburbs, so I'd be surprised if that was the case.
A cruel bounce of the ball then, robbed them of the perfect start. And the kick in for the Bombers. Livy out wide. Davies drops the mark. Tries to butter up now. Slung in the tackle. And ball spins out of bounds. Umpire says throw it in. Still inside 50 for Western Suburbs. Kicking with the aid of the breeze in the third quarter. And as Dan said, we'd like to nab a couple early. The throw in. Odgers with the front spot. Taps it to the front of the pack. Davies is there again. And taps it over the boundary line for another throw in.
Dean Davies and Mark Claude also sharing the Rising Star Award for the Sydney AFL this year. Something we hasn't been seen before.
So in it comes, Odgers and Zeno. Zeno gets a good enough. This time down towards Atwoods, the speedster. He runs around two of them. Good smother there by Ide Kassem. Now over to Odgers onto his preferred left foot. He just, it's the slowest blind turn I've ever seen. Comes out to Zeno. Now to Bereza. Bereza over the top to Carbone. Oh, just misses him. Charging onto it there is Lees. He did very well out of defence. Wobbly kick inside 50, only as far as Livy with Withers charging upon him. And he has got Tyrrell out wide on his own, but he just holds things up, goes in short and finds Davies. Odgers, good spoil over the back. Colk just falls over. Lencow off the ground. Inside towards Gambale. Back to Egan. Snap on goal by Hudson, and it's through. First blood to the Magpies in the second half of this game.
So the Magpies bring the margin back to 6 points. Good start to the third quarter for them. In the ruck, Odgers wins the tap. And Barley with the fend, did well to get the kick in and win the free kick. Umpire thought about playing advantage. McPherson was running in side 50, would have had a pink, but it's coming back to the centre of the ground. And Gambale's been in everything in the first half. They send the ball long. Inside 50, going back with the flight and taking an easy Marcus Hill for North Shore. As Tyrrell out wide, ignores that option. Some beautiful camera work there from the boys. The kick out wide, and the mark taken by Livy. Kicks down the line, looking for Long. Plenty of Western Suburbs players there affect the spoil. And coming away with it there, Kassem. Ball bundled over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in. On centre wing, far side of Henson Park.
It's a good tackle there applied. I think it was Meldrum. It's been good for them in defence so far today. It's what they've been doing well, the Bombers. They're making sure their tackles stick, putting plenty of pressure on the Western Suburbs Magpies.
So umpire Lewis decides that he'd come in from that side and bounce it. North Shore player bundled over the line. We'll have a throw in. We're 4 minutes into the third quarter, Sydney AFL Grand Final. Odgers gets it back towards Denev. Denev, quick little punch towards Kassem. Crosby's over the top of him. Both of them draw a crowd. Umpire says, I'll have it, and break it up.
Today's field umpires, Anton Lewis, Graham Glassford and Joel Elliott. Umpire Lewis has the ball in his possession now. Good bounce. And there by Odgers, has done well in the ruck today. Just trying to scrounge one out there was Kassem, Nadir. The Bombers come away with it. Good evasive skills there from Hill. Sends it long inside 50. Got a good mark in defence there by Harper. Wants to play on. Sends the ball out wide. And then they're all on his own, trying to control it. Here's Stevens, but good tackle there. And that's excellent stuff from the Bombers, and he wins the free kick. That was Lord.
That was a great tackle from Lord. He managed to get in there. Danny Stevens wanted to show him up, and he did a top job.
Kicks down the field and finds Tyrrell. Tyrrell plays on immediately. Sends it long towards centre half forward, getting under it there. No mark taken. Fraser upends it, but down to Davies. Snap around the body. Is there? No, it's hit the post. It's a game of centimetres football. And it's the post there, cheating with a goal. So first score of the third quarter goes to North Shore. They move to 5-8-38. Western Suburbs are 4-8-32.
So quick kick comes out to Chris Lees. Two Bombers players charging down on him. He kicks it long, hugging the boundary line. Odgers trying to do the roving, the biggest man on the ground. Comes towards Blencow. Colk does well. Snaps it over his left, onto his left. Only as far as Urell, who spoils his teammate Stevens. It's Tyrrell 1-on-3. Odgers again doing the roving. Back to Ide Kassem. He dodges round two. Back towards Blencow. He takes on Crosby and beats him. He kicks it inside 50. Good spoil there by Colk. Comes down to Stapleton. Free kick to Colk. He was knocked down by Bradfield after he'd spoilt that ball.
Both teams still struggling to find a leading option inside 50. They're bombing it in, they're putting it too high. Just need to come back and make sure of those skills.
The Bombers just working it out of defence. Wason kicks out wide. And a good mark taken there on the boundary line by Meldrum. Just keeping the ball in play.
See Mildorf there working up on the sideline.
The Bombers in possession through Atwood. Short pass is a good one. Spots up Zeno. The big ruckman. And he sends it long towards half forward. Plenty of Bombers there. Mark almost taken there by Kerr. Ball on the deck. Trying to extract it there is Lord. Bit of a scrimmage. Umpire says play on, boys. Eventually comes out to Kassam. Handballs backwards. And the Magpies go forward. Good long kick towards centre half forward. But getting under it there is Stapleton. Takes a good mark in defence for North Shore.
So Stapleton kicks out wide and finds Bereza. Good skill shown there by the Bombers. Atwood just tripping over behind the mark. Bereza hugs the boundary line looking for Crosby. Hugs it. Over it. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go to Gambale. Good crowd in here at Henson Park on the grandstand side of the ground. Gambale just measuring up his options. He's got Salem Kassam running for him. That's the direction he goes. Two North Shore players over the top. Kicked free by Zeno. Foot race now. Dean Davies leading it. Odgers charging onto it. It's 3-on-2 for the Bombers. Good shepherd there by Tyrrell, and he's knocked high by Odgers. Almost a professional free kick there, I think, from Big Odgers. He knew they were 3-on-2 and in a bit of trouble. So Tyrrell can go inside 50. Wobbly kick's going to fall short. Bereza on Chris Lee's Academy Award performance by him.
You can see that they've taken the option of moving Leesy back into the back line, trying to get him back to where he knows and trying to strengthen up that back line, get a few old heads in there, which is working for them at the moment.
So Chris Lees with the free. Kicks it long inside 50. Going backwards, Colt went through his hands. Withers, big clash on him. And wins the free kick. So it looked like a 50-50 contest and a fair shepherd. But the result is a kick to Withers directly in front of goal, just 25 metres out, and can put Western Suburbs level with the Bombers.
Yeah, I thought it was a fair contest too, Damien. Unfortunate for the Bombers, but very fortunate for the Magpies. Gives Withers an opportunity. He's been a bit quiet today.
So he is the premier forward in the competition, and should make no mistake with this one. Matthew Withers moves in now, kicking with the 8 of the breeze, pushes it just to the right, and a minor score, so that is a bad miss from Withers and the Western Suburbs. They move to within 5 points, the 4-9-33, North Shore 5-8-38, and we've gone 9.5 minutes in the third quarter.
So Mark Livy decides to play on and take on Withers. He gains 35 metres, kicks it over to Atwood, who drops a mark. He just gives it the step, David Campese style, back to Bereza, over the top looking for Stapleton and finds him. He gets it back towards Barnes. Barnes takes them on. Left foot pass in towards Kerr is good, and he finds the centre half forward. He can get it over the top to Crosby. Stevens charging down on him. Didn't have eyes for the ball. Umpire Lewis agreed. Danny Stevens gives it away. So Jared Crosby, he'll be kicking from about 48 metres into the breeze. I dare say he'll be looking to get this off. They've cleared a nice space in front of him. Denev just getting in there now. Well, Jared Crosby fancies himself from there. I don't. Kick on its way. Comes to the top of the square. Kieran Hughes over the top and Kerr, they spoil each other. Comes down to Tyrrell. Tyrrell out to Davies. Which way is he going to go? Back towards Barnes. They're lining up. He gets around 2, 3. Back towards Hill. He's very good on his left foot. Hill snaps on goal. He's put it through for the Bombers. Fantastic goal to them. And they're out by 11.
A couple of Swans players in the crowd. Lewis Roberts Thompson there. And Ed Clark. Restart of play. Scrimmage in the middle. Overrunning it there was Lees. Forward half back. Kick came out from Kassam. Out wide. The chase is on. First man there will be Egan. And knocks it towards the boundary line. Have a throw in. Outer side of Henson Park. Sydney AFL Match of the Week exclusive to Fox Footy Channel. And at the 12-minute mark of the third quarter, North Shore 6-8-44 leading Western Suburbs 4-9-33. Pretty even third quarter so far. Big punch came over the top there from Livy. Gains a couple of metres and we'll have another throw in.
I suppose the question, gents, is Western Suburbs a little bit shell-shocked? Having those weeks off coming into the finals, has it done them any good?
Well, we'll soon find out. They need to make the most of this breeze in this quarter, and they're not doing so thus far. Comes out to McPherson. He gets it over the back, but only as far as Crosby. Crosby knocks it to his opponent in Odgers. And Mark Egan gives away an ill-disciplined free kick. Hasn't been at his best today. So Crosby with a free kick. Over to Atwood. Atwood could have got it onto Colk. He chooses to go back over his mark. Badgick on the lead. Long, he goes instead short to Crosby. Crosby fumbled the mark. Back towards Atwood. Now over to Parker. Bombers fiddling around with it at centre half back. Parker in towards Livy. Now Livy's got some space. He can go long inside 50. That's where he goes. Hughes at the front. Badgick at the back. Hughes it is! Strong mark to Kieran Hughes.
There's another great piece of movement there from the Bombers. They just keep battling it out. But they're the ones who've got the marking options at the moment. Normally Western Suburbs would take care of that. As I speak, Bradfield goes up forward.
So Kieran Hughes, he's had a very good season, worked his way through the seconds and the juniors the last couple of years. The only thing that sometimes lets him down is his kicking. This one floats across, but it's floated far enough. It's over. Kieran Hughes, that's his second.
So North Shore out by 13 points now. The 14.5-minute mark of the third term. It's one of the Newtown Jets. Sails overhead in the centre. Punch forward from Gambale. And there is Parker for North Shore. Back there to Crosby. Under a bit of pressure to Parker again. Did well to get the kick out. Umpire calls play on. Gambale sends it back in. And the mark taken there by Urell. Matthew. 55 from goal. Long kick. Sailing towards the top of the square. But Stapleton, in fact, it's Meldrum in the last line of defence, takes the mark for the Bombers. Kick short. And mark taken there by Daniel Colt. It's been good in defence today. Kicks across the face of goal to Parker. Parker down along the boundary line. And Atwood takes a mark. Chip over the top. And a good diving mark taken there by Barretza. Good ball movement out of defence. Slowly building up here North Shore. Kick over the top, finds Barnes on centre wing. Obviously Odgers preparing to come back on the ground. So Barnes, his kick is an absolute shocker and it sails out of bounds on the full.
I was just about to say he's done a good job where he's been involved coming off the bench as an impact player, but yeah, disappointing there.
So Gambale with a free kick on centre wing. 15.5 minutes gone. Western Suburbs need to do something. He goes long, inside 50, looking for Bradfield, but that's a strong mark to Daniel Colk. He just wanders back. Tucks the ball under his arm. He's got Atwood leading for him. He ignores that. He's got Parker short, and Parker can play on from here. Decides not to. Davies just in the hole. Stapleton short. So the stockbreaker takes no risks. He goes out wide. Well, there was 3-on-1, but Egan was too good for them all. Comes over the top to McPherson. Jason McPherson. He'll kick this from just on 50, and he's good enough if he wants to kick it. The Breezel favourite coming back. He's looking to pass it off. Now he does. Spears it in to Gambale. Beautiful shepherd there by Blencoe. Just cut off his opponent's run at the ball. And Paul Gambale will line up from goal from 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. There's the father of Jared Crosby. Greg Crosby just looking on nervously.
That was better from the Magpies. They managed a fair bit patient on what they have been. Experience showed there with McPherson. Just holding up the kick, waiting for the lead, saw a bit of space, dropped it in front of Gambale.
So Gambale kicks on its way. It's a magnificent kick. And he gets the Magpies back within 11.
So North Shore still hold a lead of 11 points. But Western Suburbs keeping themselves in a game with the last goal to Gambali. Bouncing the umpire. Slapped forward there by Hughes. And caught too high there was Hill and win the free kick. So an opportunity here for the Bombers to get one back. Pretty even third quarter after North Shore dominated the second. Asked to play on now by the umpire. Hill goes long. Big kick inside 50. A lot of players there. Lees almost took the mark. He came down with it, got the handball out wide. Gambali in a bit of trouble. Handball's over the top. An excellent one to McPherson. Kick around the body. Just misses its target. Trying to keep the ball in there was Egan, but unfortunately the boundary line was looming quickly. And we'll have another throw in.
Ball just not sitting right there for Egan. He's one of those players, he gets free so often and provides a good option for his team.
So umpire Luke McSpirin throws it back in. Well, the Rovers going up. McPherson gets it down. Goes to Brewster. Back to Denev. Crosby's tackle doesn't stick. Over to Blencoe. Now back to Brewster. Western Suburbs building now. Kick inside 50 towards Bradfield. Wason tries to rove it. He misses it. Comes to Danny Stevens. He just misses the kick. Stacks on the mill. Ball held in. Umpire Elliott right there on the spot says, I will have a bounce and restart proceedings.
It's a much better passage of play from the Magpies, just starting to build at the moment. They've still got their fingernails on the cup, but North Shore with the looking very nice.
Well, the bounce favoured Crosby. Just threw it on the boot, hacked it out wide. It was a good result in the end, gained around 50 metres. This relieves a bit of pressure for the Bombers. Western Suburbs certainly throwing everything at them in this third quarter. Probably need another one to get themselves right back in the contest. Not sure have had the answers so far in this quarter. And the throw in. The racket over the top there was Egan. Gambali again continues to rack up the possessions. He goes back to Denev. Scrubs are kicked forward. It falls fortuitously there for Blencoe. Forced a handball forward in the end. An opportunity there for Stevens just to push his opponent off the ball, but he gave it up straight away. He's streaking away for the Bombers as Ronnie Wason.
So Wason out towards Pereza. He's got about 100 yards he can run here. There's nobody behind him but his Bombers players. He spears it in towards Kerr. That was a fantastic kick in front of Lees. So Alistair Kerr just outside 50. Crosby drifts down. He's all on his own. He took a while to get there. High flyer, Hill. Oh, and Kieran Hughes. He says no. Someone touched the ball before you did. Comes down to Carbone, step over his shoulder. It'll land at the top of the square. Badgick, Hill. Oh, good strong mark to Western Suburbs. It's taken by Chris Lees. That was fantastic. Running back with the flight of the ball.
It's been a good change for Western Suburbs. Lees going into the fence. He's taken some crucial marks. To kick out wide now, plays on, measures the pass to McPherson, just keeps it in. McPherson in turn goes short again to Denev. Plays on now, on the inside he has Lees. Lees just running through the midfield, takes on his opponent long, forced a handball to Brewster, steps inside a couple, shows a nice clean pair of heels, kicks inside 50 looking for Withers. Stevens is there, chance here again for the Bombers and coming away with it is Wason, but he's run down. Ooh. Good defensive play there from the Magpies. Big clash of bodies again. Barnes is there. And again, Wason with a clearing kick. And a good mark taken by Kerr in the middle of the ground. He's been pretty good in this quarter again. He's presenting well. Kicks inside 50. On the bounce there. Doesn't quite favour Hughes. Punch towards the boundary line from Urell. Kept in there by Hughes, however. Urell on hands and knees. Still keeps it alive for the Maggies. Kicks backing board to Gambali. Gives him a job to do. Forced to slap it backwards. That was clever to McPherson. And handball's quite blatantly out of bounds. And the umpire agrees. That will be a free kick to the Bombers going to Jared Crosby.
So Jared Crosby will be kicking from 60 metres out. Looking for some movement in his forward line. Kieran Hughes pointing to the hot spot about 20 metres out from the goal square. That's the way he goes. Hughes is going to fly over the top. In front was Kerr. That's a magnificent mark by him. There was a pack of players. Kerr at the front, Hughes at the back for the Bombers. And none of the Western Suburbs players could spoil them. And he's taken a mark just 30 metres out from goal.
You can see there, that's been the difference all day. Being able to take pack marks inside 50. North Shore doing it well. Western Suburbs, few and far between.
So Alistair Kerr, this is only his 6th game for the season. He's kicked 6 goals. Make that 7. North Shore are out by 17 points.
So North Shore leading by 17 points, kicking 3 goals to 2 in this turn. Barnes couldn't get the boot on it. His teammate in Carbone kicks the ball forward, and umpire's picked out a free. In the back, too high. And Andrew Barrett's the recipient. Looked good. North Shore across half 40, kicks long, deep inside 50. Lee's there with a fist, tries to clean up with the crumbs. He did well there to get the boot on ball, and good kick, landing in the arms of Mark Egan. Egan goes inboard, and mark taken by Harper. Wants to play on quickly. Handballs on the inside, a little dangerous there to Hudson. In trouble here, the Maggies. Need a clearing kick. Ball in dispute. Shore around it. Hill evades one. Kick is cut off. Job to do there for the Magpies again in defence. Bit of a stalemate. At centre half forward was a free kick, too high, and ball cleared out wide for the Magpies. Gambale runs onto it.
So Gambale can put the Western Suburbs Magpies into attack. Good spoil by Colt on Bradfield. Attempted kick off the ground by Wason, didn't work. Glencoe, he's under there, comes back towards Cole. He hacks it over the top towards Urell. It's Matthew Urell. He can snap over his shoulder, have a shot for goal, comes off the side of the boot. Wobbles through for one behind. Western Suburbs 10th. So they trail by 16 points.
They're still struggling to get men down to front and centre. Western Suburbs are. They're getting that delivery inside. Not really to much advantage, bombing it long, trying to get a one-on-one contest, but when it's coming to the ground, they haven't got the players there to recover.
So at the 25-minute mark of the third quarter, well, in fact, it is three-quarter time. And North Shore holding a strong lead at the break there, 8-8-56. Western Suburbs 5-10-40. And the Sydney AFL Match of the Week, exclusive to Fox Footy Channel.
So this is it. Final quarter for the Sydney AFL 2005 season. North Shore with the ascendancy after kicking 3-1 to 2-3 that quarter. They lead by 16 points. Mark Lord, clever tap over the back of his head. Over towards Williams. Carbone charges onto it. Good play by McPherson's come right into the game since quarter time. Over the top towards Denev. He'll be hoping for the boundary line. Crosby dives upon him. Carbone keeps it in cleverly. Back to Tyrrell. The Bombers are away. Now to Livy. Livy loads up. Kicks at 60 metres inside. Looking for Bereza!
Well, if there's one thing Western Suburbs didn't lead in the first 60 seconds of this game is what we're seeing now. Been caught behind ever since North Shore pulled in front in that second quarter, and you've got to start to ask the questions, have they got it to come from behind? They've been well held all day.
So Andrew Bereza, he's played down backer on the wing most of this season, was thrown down forward last week and kicked 2 goals. Has a shot on goal, start of the final quarter here, he's kicked it, he pumps the fists, and North Shore are in front by 22 points.
Dream start for the Bombers in the final term. The bounce favours Shore. Crosby's kick was charged down. Nagy's trying to crash through, so too there Parker. Umpire calls play on, spills out the back, the umpire's blown his whistle now. And request the ball up. So 62 plays 40, 2.5 minutes gone in the final term. A pivotal kick, that one from Andrew Bereza. Will really make it difficult for the Magpies to come back from here. Umpire has it again, bangs it into the turf. Hodges out towards Brewster, back to Hodges. Got his kick in. Bouncing footy, Glencoe overruns it. Chance there for Parker. Evades one tackle, handle at the back to Culk. Tries to swing out of it. Forced a handball out wide. Crosby there again. She's been in everything. Irrepressible little rover. And plenty of the ball today.
So ball comes back in. 3 minutes into this final quarter. Sydney AFL 2005 Grand Final. Matthew Parker throws it onto his boot, only as far as Denev. Denev, beautiful kick inside 50, looking for Freeney. Well, his player in Blenclow spoiled his vision. Comes back now towards Bereza. He had it bounce well for Atwood. He picks it up. He's tackled strongly. Umpire Lewis right there on the spot, and he says he didn't have a chance to get rid of it. I'll have it, and I'll bounce it almost in the centre of the ground.
There's Ed Chasm there that managed to just get fingertips onto a ball. They were trying to get the fast break out of that centre.
Umpire hangs it into the turf. Tap there from Zeno. Second effort was good. Left it out wide. Good kick off the ground. North Shore into attack again. Ball spills favourably there for Bereza. Kick around the body into the hot spot. He's knocked through for a rush behind. Good work there from Dean Fraser. So another point to the Bombers. They move to 9-9-63. Western Suburbs 5-10-40.
Well, 15 scoring shots to 18. There really hasn't been much in it. A lot of rush behinds. Kick in from Gambale's a good one. And he finds Lees, who's been good in this second half. He goes to Stevens. Can they build something now? Goes in towards Cassam. Parker's well shepherded away from by Blenko to allow Cassam to run forward. Inside 50, looking for Cole. Well spoilt by the Bombers player. Now back to Hudson. He kicked the goal in the last quarter. Can he kick another one here? Was that a throw? Umpire says no. Kicked off the ground by Carbone. Oh, it's fortuitous and lands in Zeno's arms.
And the big ruckman in the centre of the ground. Kicks out wide. And there's that man again, Crosby. At half forward. Sends it long. Looking for a tall marking option. The pack flies, or almost the mark taken there. Trying to crash through was Williams. Keeping the ball in the play cavally. Kick around the body there from Hughes. And getting back with the flight of the balls. Odgers takes the mark and plays on immediately with the handball.
So good handball over towards Egan. Puts him under a little bit of pressure, but he can break free. Over the top towards Cassam, who's running onto it. He just uses the one hand instead of two, but he gathers it now. Picks it up. Can he get it over towards Stevens? Oh, clever play by Madir Cassam. Stevens can have a bounce. He can have another one if he wants. And another. He'll run towards 50. There's 4 bounces. He balks. 5 bounces. Shot on goal. Oh, good smother there by Colk. Parker hacks it back with the fist. Pushing the back is the free kick. Will go to Matthew Parker against Blencow. Parker just looks like he's got a little bit of cramp. Hobbles back to his feet. His experience has shown in this game thus far.
Things aren't going right, they're not going right, and that was the situation. Danny Stevens, one of the best players on ground, struggling a bit there with his disposal.
So, North Shore going to attack again. Bradfield dropping the mark there. And play bottled up at centre half forward. The Bombers by 23 points. 6.5 minutes gone in the final term. All to do for the Magpies as we see Davies preparing to come back on the ground, the Phelan medalist.
Umpire Lewis with the duties. Down it goes. Bounces sideways. Comes out towards Tyrrell. He snaps it over his shoulder. Inside 50. Pack of players who can keep their feet. It's Kerr. Now back to Hughes. He only gets it as far as Bradfield. Bradfield over towards Gambale was good. He has to switch play. He does so and goes to Lees. He's got Cassam in short. And he's got Brewster long. He goes to both of them. They raffle it. Brewster takes the mark. No one running for him. Stevens in the middle of the ground. That's the direction he goes. Finds him. Good footy. Good skills. Stevens out wide towards Freeney. He finds him. Western Suburbs building something. He's got Egan running past. He waits. Colk just cleverly goes back on the mark. Comes into Andrew Blenko. Takes a nice diving mark. 55 metres out from goal in front of Matthew Parker. He comes in short looking for Withers. Good spoil by Wason. Which way is it going to bounce? Bounces through the lot of moment towards Mark Livy. Quick torpedo punt kick out of defence, but only as far as Gambale.
So Gambale again. He's directed much of the Magpies play this afternoon. Kicks in towards half forward. Withers flew from the back. Good strong mark. We haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon. If they are to get up this afternoon, they'll need him to contribute a fair bit in this final term. 25 goals in 2005. Missed a crucial one in front in the previous term. I'd like to make amends. A fair way out, so it will take one of his best kicks. Decides to spot up a teammate inboard in Feeney. Well, chance here for the Bombers to clear it out. Not confident with his kicking there, Withers. And coming away is Tyrrell. Short pass out wide, and the Bombers are on here. Taking the mark there, it was Clark. Clark just kicks it long inside 50. That's a pretty bad kick because he had his teammate on the lead. It was an easy mark there for Fraser, and the Magpies are away again.
So a wobbly kick falls between two Bombers players. Brewster kicks it off the ground, was clever. If he can get it over the top, he's free. Does so. Over towards McPherson. Carbone on him. He spoils him illegally. Umpire Lewis agrees, and Jason McPherson will line up from about 35 metres out on a reasonably slight angle for someone of his skills.
Well, I think if you were going to pick someone to have this shot, Jason McPherson would be right at the top of your list. Very experienced player, co-coach, needs to get this goal here and give him a chance in this final quarter.
So Jason McPherson, extremely important kick. It's on his way. He pumps his fists. The goal umpire agrees. The Magpies are still in it. The margin back to 17 points.
So margin now back to 17 points. The 10-minute mark of the final turn. The Magpies are coming. They go forward again. Kick inside 50 down towards Freeney. Does well. Collects the ball. Handballs out the back towards Stevens. Inside 50. Has a ping on goal. Bouncing across the face and out of bounds. Gee, a goal there really would have got the momentum going for Western Suburbs. Not to beat.
He struggled today on goal. Had his problems. Was fantastic for him 2 weeks ago.
So ball comes back into play. Withers back to Odgers. Tackled well by Crosby. He doesn't really make an attempt, but the umpire says, I'll have it. We'll restart play. It'll be Odgers in the ruck for the Magpies against Livy for the Bombers. Not the regular ruckman, so let's see what Odgers can do here. He gets it down well to Stevens. Just goes away from him. Matthew Urell, snap on goal. Out of bounds again. We'll have a boundary throw in right next to the behind post as Western Suburbs search for that goal that'll keep them in this game.
They're mounting the pressure in the final turn. 11 minutes gone. Margin 17. Bombers try to clear it there. Kick charge down cleverly. Chance here for the Maggies. Desperately searching for a goal. Brewster's there. Also there is Stapleton. Sees it over the boundary line for the Bombers. They can just box it in here. Another stoppage and just try and get free to put another one on the board. Just what the doctor ordered. Throw in again. Odgers with the tap down. Now towards McPherson, the goal kicker. Shot on goal there from Cole. Didn't quite make the distance. In fact, it was off hands. Chance here for Parker to clear for the Bombers. Out wide towards teammate there in Meldrum. Kicks down the field. Cut off there by the Western Suburbs boys. Well done there to Gambale. Steps inside one. Has a ping on goal, but again it's off target. And won't even register a score. It's being seen over the boundary line there by Colk. And another throw in the forward pocket.
Maintaining the pressure here. Western Suburbs, they need a goal. They need it quick. Give himself a chance.
So can Odgers make the most of this? Comes in, falls short. Withers gets it over the top. McPherson can run onto it. Will he get a kind bounce? No. Now back to Atwood. Atwood over towards Stapleton. Stapleton can clear for the Bombers. Kicks it out wide onto the wing. Looking for Hughes. Good spoil there by Lees. No one quite wanted to pick it up. Now comes back to Hudson. Hudson over the top. Back to Lees. He takes on Kerr. Now to Freeney. Freeney bombs it long, hoping. But all there is Bombers, and Dean Davies takes a safe mark in defence.
So Davies at half-back for North Shore. Short pass over the top is a good one. Finds Meldrum. Long kick down towards the wing. Stapleton flew. Was touched as it flew out of bounds. Margin 17 points at the 13-minute mark of the final term. The Sydney AFL Grand Final, exclusive to Fox Footy Channel. Throw in again from the boundary umpire. Down to Wodgers, got her out to Gambali, handballs inside towards Stevens. Stevens in the centre of the ground, pops it over the top, going back with the flight of the ball there is Denev. Forced to chase it towards the boundary. What can he do here? Knocks it down to his own advantage, but good hassling play there from Wason, and the Bombers are away through Tyrrell.
So Tyrrell makes the most of that error. Kicks it down the line. Williams tries to keep it in, but buffs it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just a skill error there by Western Suburbs. They had Denev all on his own. Withers had also broken. All they needed to do was be a good kick to him over to Withers, and they would have been having a shot on goal from 30 metres out.
Very unlike Danny Stevens to miss an easy pick up on one of his players, but that happened there.
So Wodgers tries to do it all himself. Dean Davies. Well, Dale Wodgers had the ball, and he was pretending to attempt to handball the ball away, and all he connected with was Dean Davies' head. And the umpire saw it, paid him a free kick. So the courageous in and under player from North Shore, only 18 years of age, kicks it inside 50. It's a high ball, looking for Badgick and Hughes. Comes down to Bereza. Kick on goal, over towards Atwood. Oh, Denev just stopped on the spot. Atwood could run into an open goal. Kicks it along the ground, and it's home for the Bombers.
The North Shore with a commanding 23-point lead in the final term. We've gone 15 and a half minutes. Bounce goes out towards Tyrrell. Trying to crash his way through there was Brewster, did well. Handball was charged down. Hodges on the deck, the big man trying to bash it out. Not going anywhere, and umpire will ball it up. Just notice some of the players starting to get tired. It's been a warm day. Plenty of running from both sides. North Shore finishing the stronger at the minute.
So down it goes. Dale Hodges trying his heart out in this last quarter. Falls to Tyrrell. Tyrrell, torpedo kick, and finds Williams just outside 50. So the goal sneak for the Bombers. What can he do? He's got players leading for him. The on-ballers for Western Suburbs aren't getting back there quick enough. High ball, Hughes over the top is a spectacular mark. That's what he's known for. He slid across the front of the pack. Eyes only for the ball and took a sensational mark.
He's taken a couple of those today, and that's been the difference. The marking forwards of North Shore just really paying dividends this afternoon. They've taken some big pack marks, and most importantly, going back and kicking the goals.
So Kieran Hughes, he's kicked 2 goals, 1 today. He's a left footer, so this will favour him from this side. He chips away, but he chips away well, and that is just about it for North Shore. It's their 11th, and they're out by 29 points at the 17-minute mark of the final quarter.
The Bombers finishing all over the top of the Magpies. 17 minutes gone on the final turn. They're out by 29 points. From the bounce, they go forward. They're trying to crash through there beautifully. Western Suburbs knock it forward inside 50. Chance here for Withers. Overran it initially. Oh, did well. Went back inside and got the ball, but unfortunately his handball was astray. Clearing kick. The Bombers out towards Carbone. Can't chase it down. Beats him over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in half forward for the Western Suburbs Magpies.
The Bombers' defence are just holding up beautifully today. Mark Livy just clearing that ball away. Thrown back in. Livy will come over the top and punch it away. It was picked off by Stevens. Torpedo punt inside. Urell just overruns it. Parker through his legs. He's dived upon. He just gets up. Had plenty of time. Goes towards Cyril. Now Hodges. Can he burst through? No, he can't. Now to Carbone. Umpire Lewis, he saw something there. It was against Dale Hodges for another high tackle after the ball spilled free, and Daniel Cock will take it. So the Dutchman, he'll hold up play for as long as possible here. We've gone 18 and a half minutes. He kicks it sideways to Mark Livy. He holds it up as well. They're 29 points clear. They're trying to tick the clock down. He kicks it down towards the wing, towards Bereza, who's been a good player for them today. They fly for the ball. Gambale, the smallest man in that pack, nearly came down with it. Goes to Salem Casson. Now back to Blenko inside. to Denev. Denev, he walks around Carbone. Now Tyrrell, back towards McPherson. McPherson, oh, that was a beautiful pickup. Play on's the call. Was paid advantage. There was no advantage there. Umpire Elliott had the whistle in the mouth. Decided not to do anything. Now Parker clears and finds Crosby. Crosby can play on if he wants to. He's got Lord in short. Instead, he goes long and wide looking for Kerr, who takes a strong mark at centre-half forward. One more goal and that is it here in the Sydney AFL Grand Final for 2005. Alistair Kerr, he's about 70 metres from goal. He's got Crosby in short. That's the direction he goes. Cole will stand the mark. Jared Crosby, he looks in short. He finds Stapleton, who's drifted down from defence, and takes a mark just inside the 50-metre arc.
Switched up forward. Stapleton started the game in defence and has been a pretty even contributor throughout the afternoon.
So he's only kicked 2 goals for the season. He is kicking with the aid of a breeze. He'll kick from right on 50. He lines up, he leans back. The kick's on its way. The Bombers players put the fists in the air. That's a great time to kick your 3rd goal for the season. North Shore 12-9-81, Western Suburbs 6-10-46. They're 35 points in front now. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter.
So the Bombers dominating this final turn. They've kicked 4 goals to 1. They're out by 35 points and have come home with a wet sail in season 2005 after a sluggish start. It's a free kick going to West in the middle of the ground. Salem Kassam kicks long. Inside 50, McPherson flew, couldn't take the mark. Ball on the deck. Urell's there. Tried to give it out to a teammate, but turned over possession. Kick forward from Williams for Shaw. To a big pack of players going back there with courage was Barretza. Falls down to Lees, however, for the Maggies. But his teammate under pressure there in Egan. Lees gets it back again. He's trying to mount an attack. The Magpies at the moment, but nothing coming off for them. Good play there from Parker. Kept the ball in for North Shore and spots up a teammate down there in Kieran Hughes. Has 3 goals for the afternoon and has taken some brilliant marks in packs. And the forwards of North Shore really have been the difference this afternoon, and it's not to discount the efforts of their defence either. So Kieran Hughes, long punt into the top of the square. Salem Kassam there, he looked as though he got a fist on it, but it fell into the arms of Zeno, and he's been awarded the mark directly in front of goal. He wants to play on and improves the angle, and the mark taken there by Badgchick. And he is almost, well, in fact, he's directly in front of goal, 25 metres out, and this will be another one, you'd reckon, for North Shore.
Well, it was good play by the big ruckman, Zeno. Quick thinking, he's got good skills for a big man, and he just spotted Badgchick up, who found some space. The Western Suburbs players, the heads bowed, the arms on the hips. They're extremely disappointed. They only lost 1 game leading into this final series for the whole season.
Yeah, after a season that promised so much, it's come down to this, and North Shore by far the better side on the day. The shot on goal is there. So Badgchick kicks his 1st goal of the afternoon. It's North Shore's 13th. They move to 13-9-87. Western Suburbs 6-10-46.
So umpire Elliott throws it down. Hughes will get a tap away. Intercepted by Stevens. Onto his left foot. Grubber kick. Down towards Withers. Oh, it just goes past them all. Cole just tries to pick it up. He misses. Now Livy takes on Withers. Good tackle by him. Now to Carbone. Oh, Stevens. Poor attempt. And just clocks Carbone over the top of the head with his left fist. So Carbone will hold things up. He's a rep player in 2004 and 2005. He kicks it to Colt. He missed last year's grand final victory due to a broken hand, so this will be sweet times for him. Kicks down the line. Over the top comes Hughes again. Gambale, he does well to rove it. Down to Denev off the side of the boot. Unfortunate, straight through the interchange gates. And Tyrrell will take the free kick for the Bombers.
But Tyrrell kicks inboard, finds Davies. Juggling attempt at mark. Bombers lead by 41. A big second half for them. Davies goes the torp towards half forward. Falls down towards Barnes. Got her out the back to Kerr. Kerr kick around the body towards the hot spot. There's plenty of players there. No mark taken. It bounces towards goal. First man there for the Maggies is Harper. Clearing kick out wide. Bouncing out towards Egan. Toes it forward. Picks up the crumbs. Met by Parker. Forced a handball and the ball trickles out of bounds on centre wing.
So we've gone 25 minutes in this final quarter. The Sydney AFL Grand Final in 2005. North Shore Bombers are out by 41 points. They've had some magnificent players this afternoon. Comes in. Gambale gets a hit out just to add to many of his other stats for the day. Stapleton, now Cole. Can't pick it up, fumbling it in front of him, gets it out towards Denev. Denev now inside 54, the Magpies, but only as far as Daniel Kolk. Kolk will kick it over towards Meldrum. Meldrum just holds it up. And there's the final siren. The North Shore Bombers have won the 2005 Sydney AFL Grand Final. They celebrate a magnificent victory. They timed their run this year beautifully. They struggled early on in the season, lost a couple of games, then came home and they've won their last 7 games, including the grand final. Damien, a fantastic victory.
Absolutely. After Western Suburbs looked pretty good in the first quarter, they kicked 3 goals to 2. But from then on in, it was North Shore who really did dominate the game. Their tall marking forwards, their very miserly defence, that really did turn the game around. And it was a 9-point lead to Western Suburbs at the first break. But from then on in, it was pretty smooth sailing for the Bombers, and not discounting the efforts of the Western Suburbs Magpies. They did fight all day, but in the end, the class of the Bombers proved to be the difference.
Well, they certainly did. Danny Stevens tried hard all day, but geez, his legs looked sore and his kicking went wayward in the last little bit. Mark Egan tried hard, so did Brewster. Gambale was fantastic for West.
He had a mountain of possession, and I think there was probably just a little bit too much reliance upon Stevens and Gambale. They really were forced to share the bulk of the load, and just probably needed a couple of more contributors. And I suppose the big area where I think they fell down was just being able to take those marks inside 50 and convert, because they did kick 10 behinds this afternoon from a couple of easy shots were missed.
Absolutely. Jason McPherson and Dale Lodges probably the other 2 good players for them. For the Bombers, Mark Lord was a sensational all day. Dean Davies, especially in the first half. Matthew Parker's experience in the back half of the game really showed, as did Chris Tyrrells. Carbone had a very good game, so did Meldrum. When you go down the list, and there was a very good even team performance.
Absolutely, there was a couple of standouts, but every player pretty much contributed this afternoon, and I suppose that's how grand finals are won, just having players. But led from the front by Crosby. He's super fit, he's a triathlete, and he just ran all day today and was just collecting possession after possession and used them well.
He certainly did. The other great player for them was Hughes down forward. Took some unbelievable marks in packs and across the front of packs. He was well supported by his defence, of course. Blokes like Colt and Wason, who really did. Wason played a fantastic game on Withers, holding him to only a couple of goals. So in the end, it was a big victory to North Shore, 13-9-87 by 41 points to the Western Suburbs, 6-10-46.
Meanwhile, while Dan is seeking out a person to interview, it's a bit tough at the moment because they're all very much in celebration mode. At quarter time, the Magpies, they led by 9 points, kicking 3 goals to 2 in the first quarter, but then it was the Bombers who came and kicked 3 goals to 0 in the second quarter to lead by 12 points at the main break. They extended that lead by 4 points after they kicked 3 goals to 2 in the third quarter to 16, and of course the final margin, 41 points, kicking 5 goals to 1 in the final term.
As you see the Bombers singing their team song, we'll just have a quick look at the goal kickers. For Western Suburbs, it was all single goal kickers. Danny Stevens won, Brewster won, Gambale won, Hudson won, McPherson won, and Matthew Urell won. For the North Shore side, Kieran Hughes, as we said, was dominant with 3. Mark Lord kicked 2 in the first half, and there were singles to Crosby, Hill, Badgick, Stapleton, Wason, Atwood, Williams and Kerr.
We've got Matty Parker with me here. Matt, congratulations, mate. Sensational effort. What a year.
Mate, just unbelievable. The guys about 6 or 8 weeks ago just dug deep, and mate, we've had fun going to the game, and geez, we just showed so much character. I'm going to stay there. we just stuck to it. We were relentless, and mate, just I can tell you, back to back, and that's 6 in a row for me. I mean, that's just phenomenal effort by everyone involved, and it's just been a real club effort.
Excellent. How about that backline, mate? That was sensational all day. Western Suburbs, they're renowned for kicking big scores. They've got plenty of targets up there, but your backline was fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's probably the thing that's held us together for the past few weeks, and if they couldn't kick up more than 7 or 8 goals, we knew we were a really good chance, and we knew we had really good forwards that would run all day. But the back line and the midfield, and this everyone showed so much resolve. And, it's commiserations to West. They're probably on the firm side of the competition, but as I say, it takes a loss to win one. And I've certainly been there, mate. But I feel for them and Kev Ano and all the boys. So they're a good bunch out there. So, but look, to take nothing away from us, we were just phenomenal today. And we just really wanted it.
Congratulations, mate. One big question. Is that the last one?
Mate, I'll go and enjoy Bevy tonight, mate, but who knows?
Good luck, mate. Congratulations, so enjoy your night.
Thanks, mate.
Well done, mate. Okay, I've got Mick Hoskins here, the coach of the North Shore Bombers, mate. Congratulations, fantastic effort. Led really what I could see from the back line, doing a great job.
Yeah, have all year. They've been pretty good. Said last week they make a few errors every now and then, which I mean we all do. But they've been a standout all year, and it's a credit to them. But it's good.
Ever a concern with scoring options up forward? No Danny Roberts. We know you lost Lord earlier in the year. Have any concerns there, or thought that you had enough power up there to be able to get those shots through?
Yeah, no, that was never a problem. Hughes has been a good player for us. Nice to Kerr. And little guy's been doing a good job. So not really. No, never a concern, to be honest with you.
Key players for you. Who really stood out for you in today's games from a coach's point of view?
Oh, the old team effort, mate, Ryan Meldrum was pretty good in the back line. Parks was okay. I thought Alistair Kerr worked pretty hard across half forward, and I thought everyone was pretty good. They don't ever stand out as much as I suppose they'd like to, but it just sort of comes back to the team aspect, and we've sort of been honing in on that, so they'll do their job.
I suppose it's a good thing you want everyone putting in on a day like today, especially with the competition coming up against Western Suburbs. Have been the standout all year, but you sort of crept up a little bit slower, bit of a quiet start, but then you just barrelled home.
Yeah, well, look, without being a smart aleck, that was obviously the plan, just to try and get momentum at the right time of year. But they're a sort of side. They have been the benchmark here. They have been a standout all year. Exactly right. And good bunch of blokes, great football side, and Kevin Maynard's a lovely fellow, and obviously there's a little bit of North Shore history with Kev.
Yep.
So. Had a good chat to him yesterday, and Gambers and those sort of guys. They're good footballers. They're a good footy side, so I suppose it makes it a little bit better to beat the calibre of that.
Yep. Well, mate, congratulations. Well done. Go and enjoy. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Next in line, Dean Davies. Dean, congratulations. Well done. Mate, what a year. Rising star, first of all, Phil and medalist on Monday night, and a grand final to cap it all off.
It's been a good year. Not just me, but the whole team, mate. Bit of a slow start. New players, new coach. Just working out the bugs. Came good year.
Excellent. A little bit quieter in a couple of quarters today. Your second quarter was fantastic. You finished it off okay. But I suppose that does come back to the team effort and everyone putting in a great performance.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for the glory today. Just wanted to do the 1%ers that got second line. Just the hard stuff like everyone did.
Yep.
So didn't care about the performance as long as we won.
Yeah. Any key things that think got you over the top today? Any real majors?
Well, the last few times we played these boys have been a bit soft. So they've been rush attackers today. We're just really hard at it for 4 quarters. We knew if we just put it on them, they'd follow, which they did.
Yeah. Was it a plan to really sort of, I suppose, flood that forward line, make Western Suburbs work hard for their marks, which they didn't really get many of today?
Yeah, well, they are fast starters. We knew if we could just hold them to a couple of goals at the start, they'd slow down and we just keep moving along.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Come from behind for the big win, mate. Well, fantastic season. Congratulations once again. Enjoy. Thanks, mate.
And there is the Premiership Cup. And it's time to present it to the North Shore Bombers.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the AFL New South Wales ACT, we've just seen a game of football that's very much worthy of a grand final. Very much commiserations to Western Suburbs, put up a fantastic fight. To the victors, North Shore, very well done. I'm going to ask Craig Davis to join me on the podium to present the winning medals and also the winning cup to the 2005 premiers. Craig?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure on behalf of the AFL to represent them here today at the grand final. One of the duties I've got is to present the winning cup after the medals, the Bill Hart Cup. On behalf of the family, Bill being MBE, Vice Patron of the AFL, life member of the AFL, life member of Western Suburbs and former President of Western Suburbs. He's not well, Bill, and he's asked me, and it's a great honour to represent the Hart family and Pat here today on behalf of the family. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Craig. Okay, we'll call the boys out one by one. First is Jared Crosby. Tom Hill. Mark Lord. Adam Lord. Dean Davies. Matthew Parker. Chris Tyrrell. Todd Batchick. Nathan Carbone. Michael Stapleton. Nick Melrose. Ryan Meldrum. Brent Barnes. Ron Wasson. Where is he? Andrew Bariza. Will Clark. Daniel Koch. Kieran Hughes. Ben Atwood. Adam Zeno. Ben Williams. Alistair Kerr. The team manager, Paul Bomford. Before we call the captain and coach up, we'd like to give the opportunity for Paul Gambala to say a few words. Paul?
Cheers. First of all, congratulations to North Shore. You guys are the yardstick of the competition and handled the pressure better than us today. So congratulations, enjoy it. To my boys, I think we should keep our heads up. We only lost 2 games all year, so not a bad performance, I think. Even though we didn't get the prize when it mattered the most, I think our endeavour throughout the year was great. Thanks a lot to Kev and Jace, and sorry we couldn't do it for you today, guys. For all our supporters and friends and family that have made the trip, thanks a lot, guys. And yeah, again, sorry we couldn't do the job today. See you back at the club. Thanks.
The captain of the Premiership team, Mark Levy. And the coach of the Premiership team, Michael Hoskin. Before we hand over that wonderful trophy there's one more, and that is the best player, the player voted best on the ground, the Rod Podbury medal, and this year it was won by Jared Crosby. I'm giving that as well. And now what everyone's been waiting for all year, the Premiership Cup to be handed across to the coach and the captain of the winning Premiership team for 2005. Well done. No. This is going to...
Yeah, watch it. This thing's going to go.